Historic day for India's unique identity program. A 5-judge constitution bench of the Supreme Court has begun the final hearing on the Aadhaar case. The bench, headed by the Chief Justice Dipak Misra, is hearing a total of 27 petitions. Ashmit Kumar, who was in the courtroom tracking the hearing, joins us now to take us to the key arguments that were presented in the apex court today. Ashmit, so Shyam Devan today making his arguments in the apex court. Take us through that.
Well, a historic hearing at the Apex Court. The Supreme Court, a 5-judge constitutional bench of the Apex Court, deciding on the constitutional validity of the Aadhaar Act. And in doing so, they will be hearing as many as 27 petitions. Today was, of course, day one of the arguments. The 5-judge bench today sat for the first time, led by, of course, none other than the Chief Justice of India, Justice Misra. Let's quickly take a look at the wrap of the arguments. Which were the issues that were raised? First up, the petitioners on Aadhaar. Shyam Devan was first off the blocks. He's the first counsel for the petitioners. Argued that this entire scheme has been rolled out through smoke and mirrors, that it's designed to tie people down, every citizen, to an electronic leash, that there will be an electronic trail of every transaction, of every movement, and that this leads to an electronic trail of citizens. That's essentially the sum and substance of the arguments that they're putting across. The next issue that they raised that was in fact by the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court questioned that why can't Aadhaar be used by the state to plug leakages? That was one key question that was raised. In response to that, Shyam Devan responded by saying that various inalienable and natural rights are now made dependent on the Aadhaar, that there is an atmosphere of exclusion. That's the point that he made, especially in rural areas. He pointed out that Aadhaar works as a system of exclusion. That's one key point that he made. Further, he went on to say that when one looks at globally, UK itself has discontinued its identity system because it was deemed to be an untested, unsafe version, and that Aadhaar violates the right to privacy, especially now that there is no data protection law in place. In light of that, it is violative of the right to privacy. And finally, he also went on to argue that design is bad. It allows for state domination. Also going on to say that as of right now, as we said, there is no law in place for data protection. That's another key malady that was pointed out. And further going on to say that Aadhaar will hollow out our constitution. And one key point that he made, that we need to keep in mind that the constitution is not a charter of servitude. This was, of course, the broadly Shyam Devan's arguments that he put across. Towards the fag end, this is one key question that the Supreme Court raised, is that the classification of the Aadhaar bill as a money bill by the Speaker of the House, can it be questioned in courts? Now, this was one question to which P. Chidambaram, the former Union Finance Minister, also appearing in this case for one of the petitioners, where he clarified, saying that the decision of the Speaker can't be challenged in the Parliament, but that is not the case as far as courts are concerned. The decision of the Speaker can be questioned in the courtroom, that it is subject to judicial review. This, of course, was a quick wrap of day one of the arguments. Keep in mind, the number of petitioners and respondents will mean that the case will pan out over the next couple of weeks. Back to you.